Hi everyone. So I'll be dealing with Renaissance criticism today. So for that we have Sir Philip Sidney, the famous poet, and we're going to talk about his work on criticism, which had been entitled as an apology for poetry. It was published in the year 1595. Let us see. So basically, you should know criticism is some person is speaking something good about something, the other person comes, no, this is bad. Or some person speaks something bad about something and the other person comes up with logic and other examples, no, dude, this is actually good. So this is the basic crux up till now. We'll see some add-ons in the later period. For now, we have Renaissance criticism. So I'm starting as it's already over here. Okay, let us see. So that's Renaissance criticism. Okay, so the main concern is all now poetry because uh, Aristotle dealt with tragedy as well as poetry. Plato dealt with various subjects, but his focus was also poetry. We had Longinus. Now we have Sir Philip Sidney. This is the Renaissance England. Now there was this guy Stephen Godson who said poetry is bad. And Sidney came up in the defense of poetry, saying, dude, poetry is good. So that's it. Poetry is bad versus poetry is good. So it's a cycle. It goes on and on and on. This poet is bad, that poet is good. Some critic in this particular age is saying that this particular poet is lame, not at all good. Some other comes, dude, this poet is this particular quality. He used literary devices in this particular way, you know, to record or to write the cultural ethos of that particular area. So this poet is good. So it's the same thing basically. Now what Plato said, Godson said, Godson tried to support Plato like that. Yeah, poetry is bad. It should be banned. And Sidney said, dude, it is good. So let us proceed. You should understand that. I hope it is clear that what is the crux, what I'm going to say. So Godson, I have given this title "Microphone Abuser." This is taken from a famous song of Limp Bizkit. Take a look around. I'm an idiot, a loser, microphone abuser. So this he's an abuser, and the name of the book is School of Abuse. So according to Godson, poetry is bloody waste of time. What is the use of poetry nowadays or during this Renaissance period? And it is also the nurse of abuse. And he went to such an extent saying that poetry is the nurse of abuse. And the last, which was the ultimate blow, mother of lies, means he just shattered the school of poetry into pieces. And then comes this guy, Sir Philip Sidney, and he was very sad. He was very sad because people are very hostile. People are not at all receptive towards the goodness of the poetry. Now he comes to the rescue of Mother Poetry, Mother Muse. Let us see what does he say. Sidney, the lover of poetry. So according to him, poetry is divine, or it's religious. It is also philosophical, and he tries to says that poetry could be of the right kind, in the third kind, where it could be teaching, it could be delightful, or something else. Means the original kind. So he tries to praise poetry, and he tries to divide poetry into three groups. That is, divine, religious, moral, or philosophical, or the right kind. So while okay, so while saying so, he also says that poetry. He compares poetry with history and philosophy. According to him, history states fact, uh, what have happened in the past. Philosophy is bit of abstract thing. So, and he says poetry is something which combines both the merits of history and as well as uh, philosophy. So while saying he says that history is concrete and particular and philosophy is highly abstract. Philosophers use analysis and definition to establish, what should I say, a certain perception, while historians try to avoid the arguments, the abstract arguments. Poetry is both superior from philosophy and history because it, I have already said, it combines, the good part of both history and philosophy, and it teaches the universal truth of philosophy as well as the facts of history, presented in a poetic or artistic manner. Are you getting it? So basically, poetry will tell, this could have happened, or this might have happened if you think in this way. So it is open to interpretation. While history says, so this was the king, this was the queen, he fought for power, he killed for religion, that's it, over. It's like an absolute truth. Philosophy also says so. Even if the science says 2 and 2 is always 4, because Copernicus gave a particular theory, and after some time Galileo came, he came up with something different. So there might be a string theory, there might, according to it could be a wave, it could be a particle. Nothing is absolute. And but literature is something, okay, this is the situation, this could have happened in the situation. They are not telling, poets are not saying this is the ultimate thing. They are not saying that. That's why poetry is not lie. That's the beauty of poetry. Now, regarding divine and religious poetry, because uh, if you go, why I'm saying divine and religious, because if you look at the Holy Bible, the Old Testament, and there are verses in praise of the Almighty, the God with capital G, and the wise King Solomon. Those are written in verse form. And also, there are moral and philosophical teachings, because the earlier philosophers or the earlier historians, the Greek historians or philosophers, all used poetry. Also, not that, it is also regarded as the cradle, the cradle of civilization, because uh, even before science, even before history, even before philosophy, the first thing, the first creative art which came in upon this earth was poetry. So yes, that is the beauty of poetry. And already spoken about, poetry can also teach and delight, because it speaks about the bad things, the negative quality, the evil qualities of a villain, the vices and the virtues of a good man. It is up to you. It gives you a case, and it helps to grow you as a person. It helps to grow, take your decision. It speaks about, so if you consider the epic poems, it speaks about the vices of, both the vices and virtues of Achilles, and also the vices of Agamemnon, uh, the Prince of Troy, the, what's his name? Yeah, uh, Paris. He abducted. He shouldn't have abducted someone else's wife. Also for the love, and one should not, be disrespectful towards the god. What Achilles did. So yes, you can always. These are not my words. What I have studied, I am just presenting it to you in a frank way, because criticism is all about frankness. Criticism is all about being logical. And yes, I am supposed, and as a teacher, I think I should always cite examples. So I guess that's the beauty of poetry. And yes, so basically that thing. So this guy, uh, he came and he said that poetry is blah blah, and Sidney came. This poetry is divine, religious, moral, philosophical, and the right kind. So yes, that's the end of lecture. So basically, there is a chronology of criticism for understanding. What Plato says has been repeated by Godson, and after sometimes in the Romantic era, Thomas Love Peacock. I like this guy, Thomas Love Peacock, because the way he devised the edges of poetry is very intellectual and is very brainy. It will appeal to your intellects. Then there is Aristotle. I have committed a spelling error. You can see. I am sorry for that. That's the beauty of criticism. If you know you have done something wrong, always accept. That's Sidney, and that's not a minor mistake. That's a very big mistake. Proper noun, Aristotle. And then the Shelley comes. Defense of poetry. We'll cover that in the later part of the chapter 2. So that's it from today. Thank you. Thank you all.